Hello everyone, welcome all. I am Surbhi Sharma, currently working as Assistant Professor at Ramesh Institute of Vocational and Technical Education, Greater Noida. Today's lecture is basically Industrial Pharmacy 1 BP 502T. So today's topic is quality control of parenteral products. In the previous topics I have covered what is parenteral products. Parenteral products are those products that are intended to be used intended to be administered inside the systemic circulation. Alright. So, as I told you, these are being transferred inside the systemic circulation. It is administered directly inside the systemic circulation. It need to be free from all the microorganism. It should be very prepared very aseptically and very carefully. Fine. So, parenteral products are the sterile dosage form that are intended or administered other than enteral route and exerts the action by directly entering into the systemic circulation. It is not going in the liver or any kind of a oral route path, it is just directly going inside your systemic circulation, means your blood stream. Fine. So, it is very mandatory that all the quality control standards should be properly maintained, right. So, in this lecture, we are going to understand what are the different quality control standards that are going to incorporate inside this particular parenteral preparation. So, quality control, what is quality control? Quality control involves the testing of units and determining if they are within the specification of the final product. Fine. So, we have to make sure that all the quality premises are getting maintained in order to formulate a particular medication. Fine. The purpose of testing is to determine the needs of a corrective actions and manufacturing process. So, what are the corrective actions we can take, what are the manufacturing processes we can go for. So, that is why these quality control tests are majorly performed, so that what at the end of the particular product, what we want the quality. We do not compromise with the quality, because if the quality is getting compromised, it is hampering the patient's profile, it can hamper the patient health. Fine. So, there are lots of quality control tests that we are going to learn one by one. Number one is uniformity of content, number two is test for volume of liquids, when we have test for pyrogens, as we have test for sterility, then we have clarity of a solution, uniformity of weight, test for bacterial endotoxin and leakage test. All these we are going to learn about in this particular lecture. Okay. So, uniformity of content we have. In uniformity of a content, from the name suggests, we are seeing that all the particular ampules or the vials we are getting, these are uniformly filled up. Fine. So, uniformity of a content, this is uniform, it is equal in all the particular formulations. Okay. So, 30 sterile units are selected from each batch. In each batch, 30 sterile units are selected. Okay. Why 30? Because it is being mentioned as per IP or Indian Pharmacopoeia, that is our standard books. The weight of the 10 individual sterile units is noted. First of all, we have to, this is your first point, we have to first take 30 sterile units, and we have to note down the weight of 10 individual sterile units, and the content is removed. Now, we have to empty the particular vials or the particular ampules we have to empty it, we have to remove it, and individual sterile unit is weighed and accurately. So, what we are going to do, we have to just first weigh 10 individual vials. Then we have to remove all the content inside it, and third, what we have to do, we have to weigh accurately what are the individual vials. Then net weight is calculated by subtracting empty sterile unit weight from the gross weight. Fine. So, what we are going to do, we are just subtracting the empty sterile unit weight from the gross weight. This is how we are going to calculate the uniformity of content. The dose uniformity is met if the amount of active ingredient is within the range of 85 to 115% of the label claim. Okay. So, this is how we are going to check what is uniformity of content. First, we have to take 30 sterile units, then we have to take first 10 individual sterile units, and then at the end we have to remove all the content, then we have to weight it, and after weighing we have to just note it down. The net weight is calculated by subtracting empty sterile unit weight from the gross weight. We have to weight the empty sterile unit from the gross weight, from the total weight. Okay. So, from that we are going to get our product weight. This is what the uniformity of content is all about. Test for volume of liquid. As I told you, what are volume of liquid, why we are going to test for it? First of all, we are using the large volume parentals, we are using the small volume parentals for, although we have to just make sure that what is the test for volume of liquid. Fine, what is the test for volume of liquid? Test applies to the liquid supplied in a single dose, only part of the content is used. In a single dose, only a part of content is majorly used. Empty the content first of all of one container. We have to first empty the content of one container and determine the volume of contents. Okay. Emulsion and suspension, shake the container before the determination. The volume is not less than the amount stated on the label. So, what we are going to do, we have to just check the test for volume of liquid. We have to test that the volume which is claimed on the particular label, it should be same as that is we are getting from the inside of the vials when we are emptying it. Okay. So, this is what the test for volume of liquid. Then we have types of parenteral products. What are the different types of parenteral products? First of all, I told you the large volume parenterals, small volume parenterals. But in this table, what we have to go through that how the particular selection of parenteral products are taking place, how we are going to select that how much amount, how much containers we have to test for. Okay. For example, let us talk about parenteral preparation first, not more than 100 containers. There is a slot. Okay. Everyone knows that in a particular production area, we are producing in lakhs and numbers, thousands of formulation, right. So, in a slot, for say we have 100 containers, right, as it is written over here, not more than 100 containers. When we have 100 containers in a slot, for example, this is our slot, we have 100 containers inside it. So, how we are going to select, how much amount of containers we have to select? It is as per mentioned, as per IP. This is as per IP, Indian Pharmacopoeia, that is our standard book, okay, so reference book. So, if your slot has 100 containers, not more than 100 containers, you have to take 10% of the total amount. Like for example, 4 container you have to take randomly, just select the 4 containers, check the sterility, check the uniformity, check the volume, whatever it is, you have to just take 10% of the particular randomly selected container. Another option we can go for, if your container is 100 to 500 containers in a slot. Now, I told you what is slot. Basically, when we are doing production, we are producing n number of parenteral products in a production area. So, we are having lots of lakhs and lakhs of production, right. So, in a slot, for example, we have 100 to 500 of containers. So, from 100 to 500 containers, how many containers we have to select in order to go for? We cannot select randomly, right. We have to just make get the particular number as mentioned in the IP. So, we have recommended number, minimum number of containers recommended to be tested is 10 containers if we have 100 to 500 containers inside it. Then more than 5 containers, we can go for 20 containers randomly selected. For large volume parenterals, we can go for 2% or 10% containers, whichever is less. Okay. So, as per the particular mentioned side, we can go for any kind of, looking at this table, based upon your volume of slot, we can go for how much containers you need to select. Okay. Same as that, we have ophthalmic and other non-parenteral preparation. If the not more than 200 containers in a slot, if we have not more than 200 containers for say 180 containers, 100 containers, 150 containers, for them 5% of the total amount is selected. Okay. For example, 2 containers, 3 containers, 4 containers, as per the mentioned number. Fine, this is how it is going to take place. And if you have more than 200 containers, 10 containers are majorly selected. Who recommended it? It is recommended by Indian Pharmacopoeia. Okay. So, we have uniformity of weight. What is uniformity of weight? From the name suggests uniformity of weight, we have to just mention, we have to see the particular weight is uniformed in all over the formulation. Remove the labels and wash the container. First point, it is weight the container along with the content. First of all, you have to weight the container along with the content, for example, X. Okay. Then empty the container completely. You have to empty the container and again you have to weight it. Why? Okay. Rinse with water, ethanol, dry it at 100 degrees Celsius and constant weight, cool and weigh. Net weight should be calculated, means X minus Y, we have to calculate the particular net weight. What we did, we have to take, first of all, we have to weigh the particular container with drug, then we have to empty the drug and then weigh the container. Okay, this is how we are going to check the uniformity of the weight. This is how we are going to calculate the uniformity of weight. This is another quality control test, that is test for pyrogen. What is a pyrogen? Pyrogen are disease causing ailments. They causes disease. When the pyrogen is entered inside our body or any of the living cells body, it increases the temperature, it can cause fever. Okay, so this is what test for pyrogen is all about. We have to check that whether our drug, because in our parenteral preparation, if there is any kind of pyrogen, it can cause health problems to the patient, fine. So, in order, when we have to give a proper quality test, we have to just make sure that all the pyrogen should be removed, there should be no pyrogen left, because even if one pyrogen is there, it can multiply and cause colonies and it can hamper the patient's health. So, before providing the before manufacturing the particular medication, before sending it to the market, we have to just make sure that all the pyrogen should be majorly removed. Test for pyrogen should be done. It is a very important test. Okay. The test involves measurement of rise in body temperature. I told you right now, what does pyrogen do? Pyrogen increases the body temperature. When it is being entered inside our body, it increases our body temperature, indicating that we have fever, fine. So, this is our key point, what we have to notice. The test involves measurement of rise in body temperature of rabbits following the IV injection of a sterile solution into the ear vena of rabbit. So, what we have to do, we have to just measure whether the temperature is increasing in the rabbit or not. So, what we got to know, that we have to administer a drug inside the rabbit, number 1 point. Number 2, we have to see that whether there is a rise in temperature or not. Dose not exceeding 10 ml per kg injected intravenously within a period of not more than 10 minutes. Okay. So, what we have to do, we have to just inject 10 ml per kg based upon your weight of the rabbit. It can be 5 kg rabbit, 7 kg rabbit, 10 kg rabbit. As per the particular weight of the rabbit, we have to administer the particular amount of drug, amount of parenteral product. Like for example, I made a parenteral product of diclofenac, okay, or any of the product I made. So, I have to make sure that the amount of product I made, I should inject 10 ml per kg. For example, if the rabbit is around 10 kg, so 10 ml per kg is around 100 ml, like that. We have to just transfer as per the weight of the particular rabbit. Test animals. Use healthy animal, number 1 point, that is very important. Adult rabbits of either sex, preferably of the same variety. Same variety we have to use. Recording of a temperature with the clinical thermometer is very mandatory. We have to go for it, right? Clinical thermometer, we have to go for it. Okay, this is what test for pyrogen is all about. Okay, from that we have preliminary test. Preliminary test, what this is a test we have to go further. First step is doing preliminary test. So, from the previous slide we got to know that we have to get a rabbit, we have to get our parenteral preparation, then we have to get clinical thermometer, of course, to check the rise in body temperature. Okay, this is what your particular need of this experiment. So, number 1 step is preliminary test. In preliminary test, we have to do, if animals are used for the first time in pyrogen test or have not been used during the 2 previous weeks, condition them 1 to 3 days before testing the substance by injecting IV 10 ml per kg pyrogen free saline solution warmed at around 38.5 degrees Celsius. What it says that if the animal is not used previously for the pyrogen test, or if it is being used, it should not be used within the 2 weeks. Okay, it should not be used between the 2 weeks. Okay. So, we have to prepare the particular animal very well with injecting 10 ml per kg pyrogen free ailment inside the particular rabbit. It should be stored at 38.5 degrees Celsius as of the body temperature of the particular rabbit. The record of a temperature of animal beginning at least 90 minutes before the injection and continuing 3 hours after the injection. When we are injecting inside the rabbit, we have to measure the particular temperature at the beginning of 90 minutes. Okay. At the beginning of 90 minutes, we have to measure the temperature, then after we have injected, we have to again see and calculate the time after 3 hours. Okay. So, because the main element of the particular test is we have to see whether there is a rise in temperature or not. If there is a rise in temperature, then our medication we made has some pyrogen inside it. So, in order to check it, we just need to modify it as for that. Okay. Any animal showing a temperature variation of 0.6 or more than must not be used in main test. So, this is a preliminary test. Just for example, you are having test of any kind of entrances There is first phase, then we have second phase, same as that. This is the first phase. After that we have a main test. Okay. So, from this is a screening test, we can call it as. So, what we have to do, if there is a rise in temperature of a rabbit from 0.6 degree Celsius or more, then we cannot use that rabbit for further. Okay. We have to, we are just checking whether the rabbit has a good immunity or not, it is having a good proper health or not. So, for that we are going for the preliminary test, that if we are providing a dose, because there are certain cases, like for example, the rabbit is itself not that much immune, that it can not withstand all these things well, and because of its own homeostasis on its own immune system, it can hamper our result also. So, for that we are just checking out whether it is healthy rabbit, it is not interfering our results or not. So, for that we are going for the preliminary test. Those rabbits that passes the preliminary test, they go for main test. This is the main test, and the main test is carried out using a group of 3 rabbits. We are using 3 rabbits here, 3 rabbits. Okay. Preparation of a sample, how it is done? Dissolve the substance in or dilute with pyrogen free saline solution. First of all, we have to dissolve the particular substance, and then we have to dilute it with a saline solution. Warm the liquid approximately 38.5 before injection. This is the preparation of a sample. It is just we are preparing the sample before injecting it inside the particular rabbit. Okay. What is the procedure? Inject the solution under examination slowly into a meningeal vein of the ear. There is a vein inside the ear, we have to transfer our medicament inside the ear in the marginal vein, right, of the rabbit over a period not exceeding 4 minutes. We have to just administer the particular drug inside the rabbit in the marginal vein. Record the temperature of each animal at half hourly intervals for 3 hours after the injection. Abhi, I told you what we have to do. Like for example, you injected the particular rabbit at 2 p.m. You have to check the particular temperature at 2:30, then at 3, then 4, 4:30, 5, 5:30, 6, like that. We have to just maintain the particular half hourly interval. After half hourly, we have to just maintain, we have to check the temperature, we have to form a graph, because this experiment is majorly based on a temperature. Pyrogen basically works by rising the body temperature of the particular rabbit. Okay. The difference between the initial temperature and the maximum temperature, which is the highest temperature recorded for a rabbit, is taken to be its response. So, we have to take the particular difference between the initial temperature and the maximum temperature, which is the highest temperature recorded for the rabbit, taken to be its response. Okay, this is how we are going to go for it. How we are going to interpret the result? Now, we get the particular result. So, how we are going to interpret? Basically, we are going to interpret by seeing whether our rabbit is having a high temperature. Simply, if it is having a high temperature means of course it has some kind of a pyrogen. We need to go for it further testing. We cannot reject our samples in one go. Okay, we have to just review it once more, and then we can go for the final result. If the temperature is not increased, it is equal as before. It means if it is equal, means there is no pyrogen inside your particular formulation. Okay. So, there are method A, membrane filtration, and method B, direct inoculation for the test of sterility. Okay. Sterility testing is basically when we have a formulation, we have to check whether there is no kind of microorganism, there is no pyrogen inside it, there is no any kind of ailment that can cause hindrance in the particular profile of the patient. Sterility is defined as a freedom from presence of viable microorganism. What is the meaning of viable? Viable means living microorganism. When our formulation is free from any kind of living organism, it is called as sterile, of course, because all your parental preparation, if you see the claim, if you see the label, it is written over there for it is completely sterile, means it does not have any kind of microorganism, they claim that. So, in order to check for sterility, test for sterility, there are major things that we can go for. Media to be used for sterility test is fluid, thioglycolicate media, soybean casein, digest media. These are the media that can be used in order to check whether the sterility of the particular medication is proper or not. Number one, membrane stability, from the name suggests it has a membrane. Okay. A membrane has a nominated pore size not greater than 0.45 micrometer and diameter of approximately 50 mm. This method basically involves filtration of a sample through membrane filter. So, what is going on? We have our particular, this is a setup, okay. In the setup we have a particular filter, okay. Here we keep our membrane filter. This filter is 0.45 micrometer and a diameter of 50 mm, okay. This is what particular membrane filter is all about. What we do? This method basically involves filtration of sample through the membrane filter. We have to just we have to filter our particular medication. The filtration is accessed under a strict aseptic area. We have to just make sure that all the aseptic area is maintained, no other microorganism can enter inside it, and complete the membrane is cut into two halves and one more half is placed in suitable volume of 10 ml of FTM and SDM. So, what it means? We filtered our medication, right. At the end of the day, we removed this membrane filter, okay, we removed this membrane filter, this is our membrane filter, we removed it. After that, we keep it inside our Petri plate, this is our Petri plate, and we have our media inside it, fluid thioglycolate media, any kind of a media that promote the microorganism growth. We have our membrane filter, in this we have lots of microorganism. For example, we have our solution, it is filtered, so microorganisms are entrapped inside it. So, these are the microorganisms entrapped inside it, right. So, these microorganisms entrapped inside it, it will start growing over there. If we at the end of the day, if we are getting colonies inside our media, it means your formulation has microorganism, it is not sterile, fine. If we are not getting any colonies, means it is sterile, completely free from microorganism. Another, we have leakage test. Leakage test means when we are transporting our particular medication, it should not leak. So, leakage test is employed to test the leakage integrity. What we are going to do? Package integrity reflects the ability to keep the product and potential contamination out, okay. All this contamination should be out, which is a flow of matter through the barrier itself, okay. So, there can be a visual test, bubble test, dye test, there are lots and lots of tests involved in this in order to check whether the leakages content is not completely doing, we are not going for the any kind of leakage when we are moving from one place to another. Direct inoculation method. In direct inoculation method, what we are going to do? The direct inoculation method is more traditional sterility test, okay. In this, what we are going to do, basically it involves 3 steps, very easy 3 steps. Number 1, aseptically opening of each sample container from the recent sterilized batch. We have to take one container, okay, we took the container. Secondly, we have using a sterile syringe or a needle to withdraw the required volume of sample from the both media and to the container. We are taking inoculation loop, that is transferred inside. We are taking a sample, and that sample we are just inoculating our sample in a Petri plate which has media inside it. This media will promote the growth of microorganisms. So, we voluntarily want that there is a growth in microorganism, there should be growth of the microorganism. We are providing access of environment inside it, so that microorganism can be grown very easily, okay. Injecting 1/2 of the required volume sample into the test tube containing the required volume of FTM and other half volume of the sample into the second test tube containing a required volume. At the end of the day, I will say that simply we have to just take the particular solution. We have to take the particular solution, we have to incorporate it inside the Petri plate. In the Petri plate, we have media. That media will help the microorganism to grow. So, we are providing food to the microorganism. If there in our formulation there is any microorganism, it will start growing. So, this will detect us कि yes, the microorganism has lots and lots of colonies. It means the particular product is not sterile, it is not sterile, okay. It cannot be used properly because there is lots of microorganism growth taking place over here, okay. This was having a quality control. Quality control should be fundamentally segmented parental product manufacturing, because it is very important for maintaining the quality and quality assurance and providing a satisfactory result whether our product is safe to use for the people when it is being transferred to the patient. Each test is unique and provides a detailed assessment of quality control for the parental products. Okay, that is why this quality control plays a very vital role in the particular medicament. and that's why it is very important that you should be performed in a very essential and have its own importance in the parental production area. Okay. Okay, so this is what all about we have to go for. Okay, so we have discussed about the direct inoculation method, leakage test, membrane filtration, all these things we have interpreted. At the end of the day, quality plays a very major role. So, that is what this was all about today's topic.